Perched on the cliffs of North Goa, overlooking the mighty Arabian Sea, lies an illegal nightlife empire. Today at MQM News Network, we continue our investigative series on the nightclub industry thriving across the coastal state. Today, we speak to you about one such property, RAEETH, a popular nightclub branded as a rich boys project, is frequented by all the Bollywood celebrities, the famous faces in the influencers world, and all of the tourists that come in from the metro cities like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi, you name it. And RAEETH's sister concern, RROV. Both these properties are located in one of the most ecologically sensitive areas in the entire country. But you wouldn't know that when you look at their guest list. Hello, hi, salam or namaste. Welcome to MQM News Network, your news channel with all the views. The property is frequented by these famous faces who end up lending a legitimacy to these properties. So the culture, the tendency that we have is we tend to believe that something is legal and honest and to be followed if it is seen everywhere. Ab sab kar rahe hain to sahi hi hoga, sab jagah dikh raha hai to sahi hi hoga. What happens is when these young Indians who are following these pages, these influencers, these celebrities is they believe that what they are seeing is something legal. What they are seeing the videos of is something that is popular and that is completely okay. This happened with Birch by Romeo Lane, which took the lives of 25 innocents. And this can definitely happen once again because none of these properties follow the norms that are to be practiced. They are open in locations which are ecologically sensitive, which are not supposed to host these large amounts of crowds. They are built on hilltops. They are taking away the places. They are hijacking places which are meant for turtle nesting, which are meant to protect the surrounding environment. Let's talk about the legal point of view. As per the Indian Coastal Regulation Zone, the area extending up till 500 meters from the high tide zone is considered CRZ zone. Now, Goa is unique in the sense that Goa has multiple frameworks even under CRZ. So there's CRZ1, CRZ2, CRZ3, CRZ4, and each framework comes with different legal implications. Under CRZ3, which covers most of the coastline across North Goa, any kind of new construction is completely restricted, prohibited. Permanent structures require hard to obtain specific clearances directly from Goa Coastal Zone Management Authority, which is GCZMA. MQM News Network has conducted a proper investigation. As per our investigation, we have obtained the mapping areas mentioned on the social media handles of these pages of RAEETH and RROV. And the maps itself clearly show that these properties are located on the Ozran Cliffs right next to Little Vagator, putting these properties directly in the 500-meter CRZ zone. So the question that arises is, do these properties have the required mandates, clearances, authorities backup? Let's rewind a little. A few years ago, Karl Cox, a major international legend, was in Goa. It was his first visit to India. He was called in. Attendees from across the map were present at the event. What happened? The plug was pulled off mid-event. The attendees had to vacate the premises despite paying thousands as just entry charges, followed by purchasing of different items at the event. The event organizers got the money. The artists, they definitely take the payment in advance. The property got all of its payment done. Who suffered? The attendees, who were asked to leave. Another incident. Monolink, a famous international legend in the electronic music scene, was performing at a property in Goa. Again, the property was illegal. Again, none of the norms were being practiced. The event was stopped mid-scene. Not only are these events stopped and their sound equipment put in by the agencies that have been hired, the sound equipments were seized. Monolink was manhandled by authorities and removed from the event. Even as recently as this year in 2026, something similar happened wherein a party of one property which was scheduled to happen at Hilltop was then transferred to Aura. Now Hilltop, people come into Hilltop for the experience that it offers, for its sound system, for its ambience, and that's what they paid for. But what did they get? They had to go to Aura, a property which was not at all equipped to handle a crowd of 2,000 plus. Everybody got an experience of a 20 rupee after paying 20,000 for their entry. This joke is on those attendees. Think about the pattern here. Now the rich kids who have the money to even personally get any of these international artists to dance at their own wedding venues, they can do that. What about the middle class consumer who saves up for a music event, who is actually coming down to Goa because he or she has that respect for the artist, wants to actually enjoy that music, buys the ticket in advance, looks for offers, and then comes down, pays a property to stay for those number of days, and then ends up doing what? Getting asked to vacate the property within half an hour and have to be part of a very tense situation. This reflects on the Indian music scene, and it reflects on properties and artists who are actually putting in their sweat, money, energy, time, their lifetimes behind creating genuine music movements. They get labeled in the same way as these illegal properties are. Another internationally acclaimed legend in the music scene, Black Coffee, is expected to arrive in Goa and is performing at RAEETH's property RROV on April 3rd, 2026. Now, what do you think will happen at this event? Even if the event does eventually happen to go on smoothly because of the reasons that we have already mentioned in our various reportage, the usual script will be followed, wherein the GCZMA might come in with archaic sound equipments when the party is happening. If we keep the pressure on, these sound equipments will measure the sound decibel. Is it audible? Is the music crossing this limit? Although it will be quite clear that the entire event is happening in an ecologically sensitive zone. By the time the entire event will be over, event companies would have made their money, the entire property would have made their money. The joke would probably be on the attendees as usual, who have paid the money to be there and don't even manage to get the experience that they've paid for. Recently, Goa Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant made a statement in the assembly that Goa is open to hosting international events, national events, musical events, and that is absolutely great. Goa's economy does depend on tourism to a very large extent. But what about the legal implications? Why not mention the CRZ frameworks that are to be kept in mind while operating, while organizing such events? When you make such statements, you show that Goa is open for all and anyone, without mentioning the terms and conditions that go below an insurance policy, which often go unnoticed, that if you are conducting an illegal event at an illegal property, what will be the consequences? Even in metros like Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Pune, nightclubs shut at a strict time limit, be it 11 o'clock, be it 12:30 or be it 1:30. It shuts max by 1:30. All these nightclubs shut max by 1:30. Why can Goa not operate on these legal strict time limits? Who declared Goa as somebody's personal playground? Is Goa not home to local residents? Is Goa just meant to be used and abused for personal profit making? And don't be mistaken, these events are not thronged by local Goan residents. These events will have presence of people coming in from different states who are least aware or least bothered to know about legal implications. So these properties cannot claim to be offering employment or any kind of opportunity to the local crowd of Goa. We saw in Birch by Romeo Lane, the fire that killed majority staff members of the property. None of the employees were of Goan origin. The employees came from different states ranging Bihar, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Assam, so on and so forth. Majority of these illegal venues just have the same old script to narrate. We are giving employment to locals in Goa. We are creating jobs here. We are creating opportunities here. That is nothing but a myth. Our question remains, can these properties not be substituted with legal venues? Can an illegal nightclub not be replaced by a sports academy? Goa is a football training hub. There are not enough training institutes to back the local talent, be it basketball, volleyball or football. And what about the risking of lives of tourists that come in? Goa depends on tourism economy to a large extent. Then how about ensuring the safety of tourists? Tourists, we have seen attendees of these music concerts who pay in full in advance. They don't even end up receiving the refund for that event. What is their mistake? Just because they love Goa, just because they enjoy Goa and have traveled all the way here, are spending their time and money to attend a music concert only to be ridiculed and asked to leave? Because the managers, because the organizers of these properties, of these events, refuse to operate in a legal zone? The point to note is, how are these properties still, even after the death of 25 people at an illegal property, getting their due licenses? Which authorities are backing these property owners and why? These parties are planned for beginning at 9 p.m. in the night all the way till 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and so on and so forth. How is this getting blindsided? How is this not getting the due attention from the authorities that it deserves? What more evidence is needed to crack down on the illegal nightlife that is operating across the coastline of Goa? Who is accountable? This is a special report by MQM News Network. This is a part of an ongoing investigative series on this rampant nightclubs. We will share with you a lot many aspects, right from who the owners are of these properties, where the funding comes in from, what are the plans ahead, who is involved from the scene of Goa into these illegal operations. Stay tuned in because a lot more is coming up. Stay informed, stay vigilant and stay tuned into MQM News Network, because the Indian Army protects you from the enemies outside, while MQM News Network vows to protect you from the enemies within.